Okay, we've analyzed $2.7 billion of claims from the state of Tennessee employees and teachers in higher education. And I just wanted to look at three different procedures to see what some of the variance is. As you can see here, this is repair of knee joint. We see a little green section, a yellow section, and a red. The red is excess charges. When we zoom over here, we'll see the median cost is $4,731 and the maximum is $75,000. So let's go ahead and click on the graph and see if we can look at some of the data. Now, when we float over here, what we'll see is there's a green money bag near the top right that says medical spend $75,000. So, those are pretty high charges for repair of a knee joint. And as we float down to different procedures, we're down to 42,000, 40,000, 25,000, etc. So we see a lot of them that have really excessive charges. When we go down towards the lower charge providers, we're seeing 6,400, 6,477, we're saying 6,488. So there's really a ton down here that are under $7,000. More than half of them are under $7,000. And once we get to 8,500, we're going to see all of a sudden it starts spiking up again to 20,000, 25, 30, 40, up to $75,000. Now we're going to look at a fairly common procedure, a colonoscopy. So in a colonoscopy, again, we see the green, which is the base charges, and the yellow, which is the tolerance, and then the red, which is the excess charges. When we float over here, we see the median cost is $1,212. When we click on the graph, we're going to bring up some actual incidents. Now, if we look at the top one, somebody actually paid $17,341. Now, the interesting thing is, if you look towards the bottom of this little pop-out window, it says medical rating. This is rated by CMS, which is Medicare and Medicaid, and it's rated 2 stars out of 5. If you look below, the mortality is in the red, the safety is yellow, readmissions, effectiveness, and patient experience are all in the red. Now let's just float down and keep your eyes on the medical rating. Here's 3 stars. This is not rated. This is 3 stars, 2 stars, 2 stars, 2 stars, 2 stars. So you can see the quality rating in most of these higher ones are 2 and 3 stars. Now let's just zoom over to the sort of the lower cost ones, and let's look at this. Look at this. This is a 5-star in terms of quality. 5-star, 5-star, 5-star. We're going among these 5 stars. So all of these providers, these are $3,691, etc. And these are all 5-star providers. So the higher quality providers are actually charging less. And if you look at this, the safety is green, the readmissions is green, the effectiveness and mortality is yellow, but the patient experience is green. So what we're seeing is when the lower cost providers are rated higher, there's better quality delivered at that price. So now we're looking at a CT scan of the abdomen. Again, we see a very small green bar, very small yellow bar, but very large red. If we float over here, we'll see the median cost of a CT scan at $635, but the high cost is $19,800. So let's jump into this graph and look at some individual incidents for CT scans. Now at the high end, here we go, here's $19,800, as you see in the green money bag in the top. And as we look at different procedures, again, look at the medical rating of quality. They're all, there's a bunch that are 3 stars, 3 stars, 3 stars, 3 stars. There was a 4 there, but they're all 3. Now let's look at the lower cost ones and look at the quality. 4 stars, 4 stars, 4 stars. So the lower cost are actually higher quality. So we're spending a lot of money getting lower quality on CT scans. These are $11,000. Now that's really high for a CT scan, but what does come through very, very clearly is generally there's an inverse correlation between cost and quality. Now these ratings are done by CMS, which is Medicare and Medicaid services. All of the 4 stars provider are on the lower end of the scale. And when you look at the higher cost ones, the ones that are 19,000, etc., these are 3 stars mostly. So why is it that we're paying more for 3 stars than we are for 4 stars? So there's a big inverse correlation, and when we look to analyze the spending by the state of Tennessee taxpayers, there's a big discrepancy.